Hello and welcome. I thought I'd literally start with the John Deere. It really doesn't get much use, so I thought it's really highly appropriate that we actually include it. It is obviously this is a very hilly map. It really is. It really did. Became very early on apparent that we really needed to have big equipment. So now that's surprising me. So it's not working again. The tip yourself unless you're in the area. There was what I'd figured out. To begin with, on the early days, I'd figured out that if you were around, it does actually definitely do its job. Now we do need, I'm going to fill this again because it's still not enough, but we're getting very low. So it really is, yeah, I have a sneaking suspicion, a little bit production silos aren't working properly because they sort of seem to do their own thing, even if not activated. Production silos, as we've seen on this very Let's Play, they do what they like. That even if they're not switched on, they will move things around amongst them, and there's nothing I can do about that. It's not me that's like programmed it wrongly. It really is just these are programmed exactly as they were in FS25. I would not have had an inkling on how to do it unless I actually checked on how to do it with Nikki and all the rest of it in FS25. I looked very early on and I thought, well, I can do that. You just send in a product to itself. It's not really rocket science, but obviously once you know how. So I did it, and no one else, I've not seen anyone do it. So I wonder if other people have done it, that Giants haven't released it because they know it's not working right. So we can see that on the Let's Play that it's really not working as it should work. It's doing its own thing. So I have a sneaky feeling that the oats are doing something similar, because I just checked this. Now that is off. That is definitely not activated, because it would say deactivate if it was, and the one above it is saying deactivate, so we can see the glowy. So cornflower and oat flour are definitely working. Now we did have some flour left, but I don't think we had like anywhere near the flour that we've got. So if the flour goes up, as we see on the bakery, where there's a lot of flour, 83 tons of flour there, if it is going up, then we know really for a fact that this is pumping out based upon the oat flour, the original oat flour, even though we can plainly see that that's the original flour and this is the new flour. It's only called the same here. Inside the game knows it's completely different from this one. This is called flour 1 and this is flour. That's the only way the game can differentiate, the same as you've got to do the same with these. Sorry to go a little technical, but just so as you know that it really does know the difference, hence the fact the little drawing, the diagram and everything, the in-game ones versus the special ones that you do yourself are however you wish them to look, basically. And we can see that that's all right. I mean, it wasn't the other day, but it really is now. So really all we need to do is basically go through the months and process everything we've got to process. That really is the job. And I'm not going to look at it at all in the sales. It's totally pointless, really. So I'm hoping this is the last, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I love this map. It's it is JMGaming's first map that I sort of like took note of him as a map maker and thought, this guy is completely different from any other map maker that I've ever known, and he is prepared to go like the extra mile where all the map makers dare not go, and he's literally done that, and it was very unique. And in all of his maps he always brings that little bit extra, always. So yeah, it's nice to see all my things working as they should be. I may in time make these a little different. Not this one I'm happy with. There's a couple. The bread one, no, again, I've tried to do something that encompasses all of the different breads, so hence the bakery. I might make the graphics on the bakery, but what I'm trying to do is, you will note it's the same sign up there. Giants really like you to minimise your graphics, and these are like, I'm trying to be good and not have like separate graphics files for everything and all the rest of it. So they're sort of piggybacking off the same graphics file for this, so as to make the entire thing not too massive, which is what Giants really like. So yeah, I'm trying to be good. Right, so we've got pig food to take, and yeah, so are we going to time lapse this? I don't think it makes any difference. It's the last one we're going to grab. Is there any more pig food left? I think that we had quite a lot. We've got to take this. I think there was a load more. So let's grab the other one. Let's like be a little bit savvy and grab things like, you know, I just put follow me, make great use of follow me. I think is it the mill or the bakery that has the pig feed? I can't remember. Yes, it is getting complicated now, but I do intend, obviously, and again, the one thing I've started to do now is to include the old recipes too. But again, if I find that actually it is that's causing issues, that having the two things means that the thing actually carries on with doing the normal oats, then we will actually do it a little differently. We may as well have another 10 tons in this as well. Yeah, I will literally strip all of the normal in-game things out if they're going to like take away, because we don't want those kind of pallets at all. So we're not quite under no, I think we should have, yeah, we should have pig food as well in there, I think, unless we're taking it all out. It is possible. No, we definitely have not taken it all out. We've got another 2 of these. I'm really very pleased with where I am on this. Now, this is one of the longest running Let's Plays I've ever done, even probably longer than Rombos Road. We have run it for how many years have we actually been on the map? Obviously, this came from the beta origin, but unlike I have on Oak City, I've literally, this has just carried on going. So it really is 8 years. Not as long as Sri Lanka, but then that was because it started off with a we put that on follow. Yeah, I was subconsciously doing it. That's the trouble. I always say this. I'm concentrating on talking to yourselves, and everything else is a subconscious. You're doing it because you know how to do it. It really is as simple as that. So, yeah, so really, the results should be quite spectacular on this Let's Play, really, because we have been running out. I mean, equipment-wise, obviously, likewise, we've got a shed load of equipment we really don't want for anything. But obviously, we also should really, truly finish quite spectacularly. I mean, yeah, I suppose what I'm getting at is Oakbridge Farm was running far less, and we did 5.5 million by the time we'd finished. So really, you would expect. I mean, yeah, I did say this as well last session. The one thing I am going to say, though, in the defence of Risoux Forest, is we are sort of limited by the size of our fields, whereas obviously Oakbridge, the field that we finished on, was a monster of a field. So yeah, I mean, you've got to sort of take that into consideration too, because that also is part of it. But I still think, due to the length of time we've been on here, that we still are going to absolutely no, we are in Euros, that's right. Yeah, I think we're going to kick this out of the ballpark, really. Yeah, the other thing is we don't really need to do this. I'm getting into old habits again. Really, we only needed to do this to make an edge on the thing. We can, as I did on Oakbridge, once we've processed everything. Oh my life, yeah, look at that. Now that we need to take some out, because we are stopping the mineral feed, so we need to at least take, otherwise we can't actually carry on with the mineral feed. So very nasty scrunching going on. Yeah, only for that reason, whatever gets left in there, once we've processed everything, that's the real thing that we've got to do, is process everything. When we processed everything, at that point, I can just add 50% to what it tells us we would get if we took things to market, and that is good enough. Yeah, something I've sort of realised. Obviously, it's quite new for me to do what I've done with the additional 50%. I don't think you'll follow me. No, you're doing that. I'm stuck. Yeah, it's weird how they do this sometimes. Okay, we'll jump into you. You're close enough. Oh my life, my TV's doing that stupid thing again. Yes, I did call it a stupid thing. Oh, God. I'm sorry, yeah. No, I never pointed it towards that. Let's get this sorted. Yeah, I've got to switch that off. My TV, it's got like this. It's smart TV, and obviously it's you can name her who should not be named. Which, if you name her, it never responds, but it always seems to respond somehow when I'm recording. It never ever responds any other time, and I'm not saying anything that should wake it up. So it's ridiculous. I need to switch it off. I keep forgetting, and then I come in and it like wakes up, and I think, oh it's done it again. So I've really got to, yeah, do this a bit better. So let's grab some mineral feeds, and we'll take, I think 100. If we take this, we should make enough of a gap that we can actually process what is left for it to do. Because obviously this is what's holding the oats up, really. In that, obviously the bakery and that is doing the rest of the oats. So yeah, I just want to process this and see how well we do. And obviously, as I say, we can really. No. Yes. Oh, not too far out, not really. Yeah, Louisiana, I'm thinking there's a lot of the map, we saw it on this one, where you're getting this water plane effect. That obviously, it's got to be I thought to begin with, obviously, I first saw it on Lady Hill and I thought, oh, it's FSG has done something wrong, as you do. It's a new map, I thought. So it's FS landscaping. Sorry, I thought it's FS landscaping. They've done something wrong, and then I saw it on another map, Louisiana, and then I saw it on another map, and I thought, I don't know, the FS landscaping isn't anything wrong at all. It's not about the newness of his map. It's about an error that Giants have done. So yeah, it's nothing to do with FS landscaping. It's nothing to do with Louisiana. It's nothing to do with any of them. It's to do with the game again. The same as I've done a little bit of sculpting on my. But the board has told me that they don't like how the cow enclosure is, and I've got to basically soup it up a little bit. That it looks a little bit too ugly with our words. So yeah, we need to. I've had started to work on it, so it looks a bit prettier, but it's not quite right. Yeah, I'm going to spend some time on it. I've done a bit of a quick job. It looks better, I think, than it did, but I got some really good. Graphics for it, but I've just not quite got it right at the minute. It's like bits of it are not quite looking right. I've got the wrong thing in the wrong place, so I need to really pay attention to what goes where, because the graphics, I keep wanting to call it the proper name, the diffuse, but the graphics file, basically, I need to pay very close attention to what goes where, basically, and we do indeed. To enter, and oh my life, we're very, very close, actually. Very, very close. Fantastic. I'm surprised this hasn't had an update, because this is an old thing. My fertilizer spreader does it too, but not often. I think it's got to be the field plane is not quite right, and it must be just outside, and the same must be true for mine as well, so I must do that. So I think that should really make only 400, so that's going to make 100,000 litres that we can do in there. How much have we got left of the oats? 86 tonnes. I think we need to do another row, another one actually. I don't think we're going to do it enough. Are you going to moan about I'm not sure if we're going to follow again, or we need to do that again, or what. Yeah, so we'll do another one just to make sure, and then we'll leave the rest in. Following this time. It's weird. They really are very strange how sometimes they can actually do exactly what they didn't do last time, but they can actually do it. I had the same on Lady Hill when I followed, and then it was even more awkward coming out of the shop. And it followed me successfully. I was like, well, that doesn't make much sense, because you were in a better position before I did that, and you didn't follow, and now you're following and you're in a worse position. So, yes, I'm hoping also to get a bit of work done on that trailer. I'd like to do the ramps, but I need to find a way of doing it. I mean, I'm closest to the TPS. I would look at how Sariga did it and see if I can sort of do something similar. Because really, the design of mine was based on the TPS right from the beginning, and so really the only place I could really go is with doing them underneath. I have actually got one model at. In fact, I might be able to sort of show you what I'm on about if we look. One of the models in the flatbed trailers has already got the ramp section in. I think it's the last one. No, it's not. This is the one that is good. I think that's the one that's almost finished. No, it's not that one either. it's that one. That's got the ramp section. This has got some fancy graphics, and I thought I'd only got this in. Yeah, this is a bit of a beaut, I think. But again, this one was broken the other day, so the fact that it's showing this one's, if you put anything on its back, it cavorts around like a mad thing. It looks absolutely fine in the shop, but you put anything on it and it's, I don't know, it's like it's broken. I've been through it. I spent hours on that particular model the other day, absolutely hours. And after like going through every last little thing that I couldn't find anything wrong with it really to speak of. I'd literally gone through hours and hours of like mod testing, no errors per se, but it was like as soon as you put something on the trailer, it started to bounce around like a mad thing. And I checked that I'd got nothing ticked that shouldn't be ticked. It was all spot on. So why not actually? Did I not follow? I'm busy chatting and like actually. No, this is me. Yeah, it's that one there. That's what I want. I'm gonna say. I thought I put it on follow. I obviously didn't. What was I saying about concentrating subconsciously? Nah, it is. Yeah, I am. It's my Friday actually today. I'm literally on holiday, but I'm not going to be doing much. I've got, well, it depends on the weather. I won't have much time to spend on doing this because real life is, I've got to like lay some slabs. It's a job that's has wanted to have been done for many, many years. And finally, weather permitting, tomorrow is the day that we're going to get it done. So, yeah, we're doing the backyard, slabbing it. Concrete slabbing, I mean, as in like, yeah, we're sort of concreting the slab. I was going to concrete it, and then my grandson had a load of slabs that he was going to throw away, and he said, well, you could slab it. And I thought, well, that's not a bad idea, so that's what we're going to do. Yeah, I'm going to lay them as if it's a sort of patio area and literally concrete them down. So then I'm hoping that should be enough, I think. Okay, now visit you will do nicely. Oh, my life. Oh. Apologies. That wasn't quite what I was trying to do. I wasn't going to be trying to get collared by the tractor. It was not in the plan. I would have died. It's true, I would. Alright, so we're nearly at 4 million, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go through. I am ignoring the chickens on purpose, because it's one of those things, I know we can make a few thousand, but it's slowing things down, and yeah, I'm happy with where we are with the chickens. And you could sort of, it's more about, we've got bigger fish to fry. It really is as simple as that. It's not that I'm like not wanting to do it. It's just it's going to slow us down on the bigger sort of game that we've actually got to do. So let's go through till now. We're going to deliberately stay here and see if this actually like does in the morning. So it is still 8 o'clock. Yeah, I'm intrigued on seeing how well we do. And again, based upon hard economy. I mean the self-marketing is assisting, but it's still not the same as being on normal economy, where the amounts that we're sort of getting are really, really very good. But what I mean is, sorry, that I'm not making much sense. Now, let's have a quick look. Yeah, let's ignore my waffling. So stones, oats gone down 20 odd tons, only 20. My life. It's tremendous. We're not short of anything to do it, are we? So it's only going down 20 tons. That doesn't make much sense. I'm sure that should be more than that. 72 times 1,000 would be 72,000, and that would be halved, which would mean that would be 36,000, unless we have got more oats and like So really, if that is true, then that should go down 36,000 litres of oats this very evening, if like that's right. So yeah, it should go down to 30 odd thousand. So right, that's that. The binding meal. This is what I'm interested in. So See, that's doing normal flour. In fact, it's doing more normal flour than it is flour. I mean, the bread is, again, that is going up quite a lot. So it's almost like if I was to take a guess, it's like it's sort of linking the two and doing that a lot more. But it is like it's still doing this, and it is coming in. That looks about what I would have expected to come in. Whereas there, I don't know where that's coming from at all. I mean, we're not cheating. You can see me. I'm not doing anything untoward, and you can clearly see that the bread flour is like this one. That's corn flour, the new corn flour, and that's my flour. Yeah, there is no. This is the real rice flour. It's the only thing. There is no normal bread with like normal flour. I switched it off because to begin with I thought, well, perhaps it's that, so I switched it off. But the mill, this is off. So really, that's like not working at all. Now the oat flour, I would imagine. So 74,000 litres. I want to keep my eye on this because this is a bit strange. Now we know this is nearly out. There's 60,000 litres of flour in this. And now to me, if I was to hazard a guess, I've got to be honest, I said this on Frankenmuth, it's like multiplication is happening inside the productions because there's things that the flour doesn't add up at all. We have not got that kind of like level of things. Now the broth, these are full, aren't they, again? So pig food is getting high again. So, have we got any more potatoes and parsnips? Because we're going to have to do the same with this. We have 38 tons. Now the parsnips are nearly gone. The potatoes are the ones we need to sort of like take some potato broth out to actually, otherwise we're not going to do this. Now they are 5,000 litres per one, so we could now actually tell these, we are telling them to spawn. We've obviously got things in the way, so yeah, we will do that. We're going to pull some of those out, and that way we're going to speed this up because this is going to get silly. Yeah, I mean, this is obviously, the mineral feed is really doing very well, so I would say another month and that's going to be filled again. And I don't want to be cheating it at all. I want literally no holes barred. I want everything to be gone, like as in processed, no potatoes left, no oats left, all that type of stuff. Even if it does take a year, then that is so be it. That's what we've got to do. So the oats have got to be gone as well. Cannery, I don't know what's happening with the flour. This is crazy. So the noodle soup, now this is eggs, I believe. It's only eggs. So we actually do, because I do want to be fair on this, we want to be grabbing some of the eggs for this because we haven't run out. So I'm going to take it completely back. We're now going to load some eggs up because we do want them. Right, okay then, let's follow that. Right, I'm going to go into a time lapse because I think this is a sneaky feeling this is going to go on for a while. So I'm going to say my words. Actually, we do need to grab some of the bread, don't we? We just said that, not the bread, the broth, potato broth. So let's grab that. Right, so I am going to say my words. We'll see you guys and gals on the other side. I think it's got to be doing, it's got to be taken. I think I'm going to have to switch off the normal flower. That's got to be doing something strange, hasn't it? Is the normal flower even showing in this? Because this is rice flour. So why is this showing flour? It's not even on. Oh, it's showing. Yeah, no, it is. I left it on for one of the one of these has got standard flour. That's it. I knew I'd got, yeah, so that's why I left it. I wanted to leave flour active, but if it is causing issues, it shouldn't be. Everything is as it should be, but that flour's going up, and that flour seems to be staying the same, like it's sort of stuck. So to me, it's like that's, yeah, and if we're like doing that again, it's something to sell, and we're not actually producing our flour, so... Yeah, we do need to move. I thought we might actually. It looks like the potato ones are very, very deep within because we've not. Yeah, I know that is now. These are potato. That's noodle, parsnip. There's a lot of beetroot, noodle, parsnip, beetroot, potatoes. So there's the odd one, but there's a lot of potato. We can't get rid of those potatoes until we do this. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to load a load of the soup. We've got to. Obviously, I didn't want to have to do this, so I am going to go straight into another time lapse. It's a huge let's play. It's going to be one of those things, but I want to time lapse it because I don't really want this to go over another. Like, no, they've got to be careful, otherwise they're going to go in there. Yeah. So right, I'm going to same words again. I just wanted sort of a bit of an explanation. We've got to get some of the. I do think the flour's got to be doing something, and it really shouldn't be doing the flour. We haven't got flour being produced, but it is, as I'm saying, I think it looks like it's producing flour along with that. In fact, it looks like it's producing flour without that being produced at all. So, yeah, it doesn't look to me very much like we're doing the flour one, although, no, that makes no sense. If that was the case, we wouldn't be producing any bread. And we did produce quite a lot, although we didn't produce any... No, we didn't. Oh, no, we did. Yeah, no, there's 10,000. Yeah, no, we are, definitely. So we are definitely producing bread. Yeah, with the new flour, I mean, because, yeah, those ones of mine, they don't produce from the old flour. So it is almost like we are doing the flour is right, but it's almost like it's also in sympathy. It's almost like it's doing normal flour too. Now that it shouldn't be doing that at all. So something's not right, and I do think, having observed production sort of silos and seeing how they act, and also this, I've got to be honest, the game really is quite broken. The more I actually poke beneath the hood, the more I can see things that are not right, more and more than like ever before. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame. It's still playable, but I've got to be honest, it's, in my personal opinion, it's the most disgraceful farming simulator of all we've ever bought, and it's obviously more expensive than we've ever paid before. It's heavier on your equipment more than anything has ever been. So if this was supposed to be not the swan song, that's the wrong thing. If this was supposed to be the best thing since sliced bread on a farming simulator, well, I've got to be honest, Giants have, in my personal opinion, have missed the mark in a massive way. It is, I mean, I don't use my laptop now, my gaming laptop, which has got, you know, like one of the best NVIDIA mobile cards in it in the world. You know, I like it's just one of those, the top-notch ones that exist. There were no better. I was looking at the time, I was thinking, is it time? Is it like that I've done this? You know, is this now getting old? Not that it was. What I mean is, I was thinking, is there better technology around? And I was thinking, even the newest, best gaming laptops that have been released have got the same card as mine. There is nothing better. So I was like thinking, well, so that sort of proves it. So now I do know, obviously, a gaming laptop graphics card is not quite as strong as a fully fledged desktop. So I thought, well, that's what we're going to have to go for then, aren't we? We're going to have to go for the fully fledged, you know, like gaming machine rather than the laptop. So I did, and it still does like judder and things like that, only it's playable. And I'm thinking, if I was on my gaming laptop now, how bad will this be? Because I have seen this as heavier than it was even a few weeks ago. I think whatever patch Giants did last, or if there's been a silent patch, it's a bit less juddery than it has been. I think they've patched something, because it was almost getting to the point where it was almost unusable. It's still juddering though, I can sort of see that, but not as pronounced as it was. So they've obviously done something, but it's still bad. But yeah, I personally think of all the iterations, I still think FS19 was the best. Even though graphically FS22 trumped it, it was much more stable. There were a lot of things that were not as nice about FS19, but I've got to be honest, graphics, gameplay wise, FS19 was still quite good graphically, but it was much more playable. There was no slowdowns, everything was nice, everything was smooth, everything worked. At the very end of FS19, it may have had issues at the beginning, early days, like all things. I mean, FS19 was a disgrace on its day of release. Alexa, stop. Yeah, it was a disgrace on the day of its release, that is definitely true. I mean, I remember watching Mr. CDP and Daggerwin all on day of release of FS19, and they were like struggling to make it, you know, they were struggling to be positive and like not say this game is a disgrace, because they'd obviously were partners and they're not allowed to say that type of thing. But to be honest, it is what I keep saying, you can't be, I don't want to ever be a partner of Giants, I don't think, because I can't be impartial. And to be honest, I can speak frankly, and I will be honest, as in like I'm not going to pull my punches, and I will also be honest if I think Giants have done things good. There are some features I like about it, but at what cost is all I'm going to say. It's the cost of what we're getting is, I just don't think it's worth what we're losing to gain the ground deformation. It's lovely to see the fields in precision farming, but even precision farming's not as it should be. There's faults on that too. Or they've completely changed precision farming from the precision farming that I knew and loved in FS22. I know there's new features, but there's some things which are really quite terrible. So anyway, yeah, let's go back into a time lapse. I'm not trying to be a downer, I'm trying to be honest. Really, I mean, I don't know what it's like obviously on console. It'd be interesting to hear from new console players to how you're finding it, or whether it's been tamed down for console. I don't really know. So yes, yeah, I think it's hard not to have concern for a game that you've really sort of fallen in love with. Always, never really. Your Giants have always been a bit of an unknown quantity to me. They're a very good company at making profit, so I'm not really sure what their intentions are, and there's a lot of very ill feeling. But I do know they're very good at ignoring, you know, people's feelings and how people are like feeling about the game, and then putting a positive spin on it as if like there's nothing wrong and all the rest of it. If you look at the press releases on the website, everything's hunky-dory, there's no apologies or anything anywhere, or even a mention of the fact the partners are all keeping in line and saying positive things. I don't mean that nobody's saying anything like, but there's nothing really terribly untoward being said. Whereas I've got to be honest, I'm like, obviously from an IT perspective, my job, and also as a long-term gamer really, and also especially being a bit of a tweaker under the bonnet gamer, where it is not only my job to know about specifications of machines and like expectations of how hardware should be and all that type of things. It's worrying what I see even from the very almost beginning of FS25. There's the heaviness, the having to switch to a proper gaming desktop from quite a very powerful gaming laptop. That was worrying at the very beginning. It really was getting to the point where my hardware was getting close to being burnt out. As in, like, I knew it was pressing very close to the point where the game was going to do damage, and I thought, I'm not prepared to have like my equipment damaged, so I switched to my desktop. So again, it's that Giants have aimed very high, and it wasn't originally supposed to be aimed high, but it is now. It really is a very high-end piece of software with very, very great demands. And when I look at the games that we're all getting, I don't really know what they are. There've been a few times, and you always know how you're really feeling. Well, not obviously the human psyche is quite a deep thing, and there's been quite a few times I thought, do I want to carry on? That's quite. I mean, I've been playing this game since FS19, and I know there's a lot of content creators like Mr. P who've been FS17, and there's some even longer than that. And it's gone in a bad way, if you ask me personally. I mean, yet again, manure is broken, and I've switched it on the old-fashioned way of doing manure straight away, and it works straight away. There's no problems, and you like think. Again, I keep saying about the monumental stubbornness of giants. We had a perfectly working system with manure, and it got switched off, and we had external modules which worked initially. Initial release, it sort of looked okay, and it all worked fine. A bit like the AI that was sort of improved on day one. You know, everyone was like sort of showing FS22 where they were all darting around the map, and it was quite good, I've got to be honest. It went downhill quickly. It was better at the day of release than it became later on. It was one of those features that sort of got worse and worse. The more giants tweaked it, the worse it got. So much so that in the end I never used the AI for that particular, or very rarely. I think every now and again I'd have another go at sending. I know some of that was down to the map makers and the AI splines, some of it, so not all of it can be laid at JMGaming. I know on Rombos was quite awful to begin with, and then later on he did the AI spline as well, because I remember at the very end of Rombos I sent a worker down. I never bothered sending them, I always went myself, because I knew that the AI splines were working at the early sort of things of it. You don't say that, but it's true. Then later on, obviously JMGaming had got to grips with whatever they are, how hard the AI splines are or whatever, and he'd done it, and they worked perfectly well. So again, he's not the only map maker. A lot of map makers, FS Landscaping, the AI splines are terrible at the minute. On Lady Hill, the AI do not know how to get to the shop, which is the one place you'd probably expect, if the map was working correctly, that you'd probably be able to go from the farm to the shop successfully, and if you couldn't, then you'd know, well, it's just a waste of time. It's one of those first tests you may notice me do on a lot of maps, is to see whether the AI splines work, whether I'm saying that or not, but I will often do a run where I'm sending the worker down to the shop just to see, well, is the AI splines working on this one or not, and some they do and some they don't, so it's just one of those things. I think we may have to do another I'm sort of trying to figure out I know we did also, the other thing that's a bit of a dark horse is the fact that we did actually have quite a lot of flour already. I remember seeing it one session and saying we've got an awful lot of flour. So is it just that it's being pushed around, or is it making more? I'm not sure. It was a little bit like I remember when Mark Thor in FS22 released the beautiful harvester that could do the potatoes and all the rest of it, and I loved it. But I remember being on the Italian map, and after I started to scratch my head afterwards and think, I'm sure we're down on the potatoes. I'm sure last year we had a lot more potatoes than we've got now. And it was only when I looked in editing that I thought, you're not kidding. We had like three times the amount that we got. So we were losing 66% of the harvest because I was using Mark Thor's harvester, and I thought, all my life, as good as this is, and it really makes things feel nice, I thought it's just not worth the loss of. I think I'd sooner go slower and use another machine than I would lose such a heavy amount of harvest. It was, you didn't think that could be the sort of case, which is one thing I've also been keeping an eye on my own harvesters is, does this feel to me like it's doing what it should do? And the answer to that is, I personally think it's not damaging. Again, it may be that it was the way that FS22 was built, and that again Mark Thor did something that really giants didn't expect, and obviously he was allowed to do it, but that sort of, I don't know, because there were other ones that did a similar thing that weren't so destructive, so I'm not sure. But yeah, the bottom line is it's a little bit like that. There's things I mean, I've been aware because I did the distribution silos very early on that something was not right with those. That one I figured out quite early, and I also wondered. I thought, I'm sure I'm not the only one that's done production silos, and the fact that none have been published to date does make me think, well, Giants are probably aware that something isn't quite right, or something's not ready in the game yet for production silos, although productions work the same way anyway, so I'm not sure what to say, but I do know that there's no production silos themselves been released yet. But maybe again it could be a little bit like my fertilizer spreader, where Giants are saying no, we don't want this, it's not in fitting with where we see the game going. That's not what they exactly said, but that's really what they meant with me with my fertilizer spreader, was that it's something about their workflow, not improving their workflow. And I thought, well, I'm not really trying to improve your workflow. I'm trying to release mods that people might want to use, and I don't particularly care about like increasing or improving Giants' workflow at all. At no point was that a consideration of me making mods. It was more about putting something into. Yeah, I've got to be honest. It does make me wonder, did more go on in FS25? Because obviously I wasn't a modder back then. Were other mods being released that just didn't fit Giants' criteria? Is this what really goes on behind the scenes that like a lot of mods do get because they don't meet Giants' approval on where they see the game going? I don't know. I can only sort of go on my personal, what I've seen of like the testing with myself, and I'm like scratching my head because it was like the very same, with no word whatsoever, which took absolutely no effort, was released as a salt spreader by another modder. The Risoux was re-released exactly as the Risoux, only as a salt spreader, and that fit Giants' criteria. And I'm like, well, hang on a minute, you're telling me that part of the reason was that I hadn't done any work on it, whereas I actually took a picture of mine versus the Risoux. Mine's about 3 times the size, which means I've got to have modelled it. I can't have just, like kept it the same. The spinner's different. There's a lot of parts I crafted myself that Giants should, if they'd taken any look, know that I'd obviously gone into Blender and actually done my own work. But that's not what they sort of said. And I'm like, hang on a minute. You're releasing the Risoux again, and it is a Risoux, and it's just got added salt spreading, and that's okay. But I'm doing a fertilizer spreader stroke limer, which is completely remodelled, and that's not fitting in with where you see the game going. I'm like, I don't get what your game is really. Well, I do. It's FS25 and FS22, but yeah, it did sort of leave me really scratching my head. I was a bit sort of very wondering where things go. I think what we'll do is we should do a full load of this, which should really seriously, hopefully, dint the potato broth, and then it can. I think we'll do one more session because I think we're going to need it. I'm going to switch the flour off in the hopes that it really is there. Now we're not getting any more, so I think we've probably caught up, which is good. So let's just now. We have got a bit of space at the beginning. I know I've gone halfway down the hill. Yeah, there's a few. Oh, there's a bit at the back as well. So also like the couple at the front that we didn't actually do. We're going to fill this and then see what happens. And then I'm unsure as to what to do. Be careful. And that's going to fall off. I know. Yeah, these are weighted. Whether this is taken into consideration, these have got 5,000 litres in, because these fall ever so funny. Ever so funny. Yeah, I mean, it's sort of like capsized and then found its weight, and I'm thinking, well, actually, I would imagine a 5,000 litre pallet may well do something like that. I was thinking, again, there are some things like the physics, although not perfect, they are quite good. I know some people don't think they are, and I don't mean it's perfect, but it is a game to actually take physics on board and actually get it anything like real physics. I've got to be honest, is quite a feat that I do continue to applaud giants for, and I've frequently said that. So this is going to be, yeah, I think, no, it won't let you follow, will it? No, it doesn't like you to do it like that, so I think we will get that to follow us rather than the other way around. And we shall see, because I'd imagine this is going to bring in quite a lot of cash. I mean, there is 60, 85, 150, 160, 195,000 litres of, not including the 20,000 we've got here. Obviously, this is why I wanted to do this. I know full well that of all of the productions I've got, that this, the Soup Factory stroke cannery, it really does, you need to have big pallets, because this, obviously because of how good vegetables are, they really, you can ramp hundreds of thousands of litres. So really, you do seriously need, I think, 5,000 litre pallets, which is, I also think, obviously it's going to assist me in lots of other ways going on the Let's Plays going forward. So yeah, again, likewise, I have already started. I've got my sugar. Sugar's another one that's very, you get an awful lot of sugar just like you do vegetables. So again, sugar beets, it does make sense to do those as 5,000 litre pallets, really. And then obviously, again, because I'm all insisting on manually loading and unloading. Oh wow, nice one. Yeah, then obviously again, same reasoning. It's 3.8 million. On the go. This I would imagine is going to be quite a big amount of cash, or else something's terribly wrong. Wow, broke 4 mil. Amazing. Yes, absolutely amazing. I'm very, very pleased with that. So how much have we got? Let's have a quick look. So the flour, I'm still not sure that we had that amount of flour, so I don't know whether it's making, it is actually doing this flour right, so I don't know if it's just pushing the flour around like we see in the productions, or whether it is multiplying, because I have a sneaky feeling that it is multiplying, if I'm honest. I've seen it with the eggs in Frankenmuth, and again, I took that on the chin and said it was mine, but I'm not sure it is. It might not be. So we have the mineral feed is up to 500,000 litres again. Oh wow, we need to make some room next time. Again, this just sort of probably, why have we got 100,000 litres of potatoes? Why have we... Didn't we move the potatoes? This is what I'm saying. We moved the potatoes out of there. Why are the potatoes back in there? Or is it that it reads them as well in the cannery too? No. That's bizarre. I don't get it. We saw me move the potato, didn't we? I'm going to have to check it editing now because I'm confused myself. Right, so the potatoes should be... So if we go to self-sufficiency, it shouldn't even have potatoes in it. I was saying this. There is no... Oh, pig food. Making pig food, of course. Yeah, no, it has. Yeah, that isn't it. That's right. But again, it's not switched on. It's almost like it grabs all the ingredients for making things, even if it's active or it's not. If I was to take a guess at what's happening, which does explain why the potatoes are in there, because the game knows you can have potatoes for it. So, but again, to me, it's like the potatoes are growing, which they shouldn't be. And I'm not cheating. I don't think it's worth ever doing that type of thing for a game. I just want this to be as accurate as possible. Unfortunately, the game is letting me down now with weird things happening. There's even a little bit of flour in there, but not like there was. It was kicking all the way around the place. I mean, obviously we had a lot of straw as well. Now that's travelling to the self-sufficiency, but I think we did tell that actually to distribute. Yeah, we did also switch that on to distribute to, and the oats to distribute. I would say that we did this well. So the straw's going because it's got a place to go to, and we did tell it to, unlike some of the things. So yeah, the stone likewise, and that is going, although we didn't have anywhere near what it is. So again, we can see that that is not activated, and yet we have a shed load of... hang on a minute. We did have... No, it's gone into the bakery now. Yeah, we've got that almost filled to the top with that. So I know we did have something a lot in the cannery. We have still 55,000 litres. That's gone up again. So where did that flour come from if it's not being produced is my point. Because although I have added the ability to make... on some of mine now, I've made these where they've got a little tiny mill in them to mill a bit of flour to assist on a couple of them. Not this one, though. This one does not do that. You won't see a flour in this one. I haven't done it. So I think it's already good enough to do what it does. So, again, I am a bit of a loss, a bit of a head scratcher to where I'm thinking I think we'll just work with my own flour and switch off normal flour in case the flours sort of work together even if it's off, a bit like the distributing silos do. So I think I'm going to leave it there. It is going down, the oats, but it's going down slowly. It's almost like they're not going down as they should do because we're producing the right amount of flour to my way of thinking. We've had like 20 odd thousand litres. We can see that that is plainly in there, and we're also making bread quite a lot. Yeah, if we look at the bread quickly just to sort of see at what we did produce as a guide, we can see that actually there's quite a shed load of bread. Again, there's 10 tons, 20, 30, 40,000 litres of the new bread, which really that's not, I would say that's about right with what we've done. So if it's using that, so what is happening? Where are we getting this other flour from? It's just... Again, the game's making me feel uneasy as a human being because I don't like any kind of cheating, and it's sort of setting my teeth on edge because it almost looks like I'm cheating, and it does. And I've seen this a few times, and I'm like thinking, I'm not a cheat. Why is this like multiplying? Why is it doing strange things? It sort of makes me a liar. It makes me look like a liar, and I really do feel very strongly about cheating. I want all my mods to be balanced. I don't want anything to be silly. We've got a basic, and we've got a bionic, and we've got a super. Each one is better than the other one, and that's balanced. I'm not wanting to make the Omatana Gardens, make them into like the equivalent of a super farm in one garden, because it's unbalanced. Sorry, Omatana, it's fantastic, but what I mean is you can produce more in Omatana's super garden than you could in your entire farm. Now, to me, that's a no-no. Again, Omatana is a very popular modder, and she does give you what you want. But I personally don't want that. It's just one step too far, really, to me. Sorry, Omatana, I'm not trying to have a bash at Omatana, who I've got a great deal of respect for. But again, that's what I'm trying to say. I don't want that kind of unbalanced mod. From my perspective, it's unbalanced. Obviously, there's a lot of people that will probably love that. Weekend farmers, people who want to dabble and want to do well, you're going to do well with that because it's fantastic. But anyway, I'm going to round in circles. So we're going to leave it there. We're up to 4 million. We have done very well with the cannery side of things. We really have knocked that pretty much. Yeah, we have. Wow. I'm not surprised. We really did. So we've taken everything. Obviously, the triple broth will stay at less than £5 grand because we've not got any left. Bit of noodle broth, but again, not quite. Carrot broth. Now, have we got anything left? No, we've only got potatoes. So really, they're all stuck at that. None of them will go up anymore because we've not quite reached so the pig food is also going to be stuck. The only things we're going to make is potato soup. So we'll grab the whole 100 tons. And we'll stick those in there, and we'll leave it at that, I think. And hopefully the potatoes will remain out of this. So obviously we need to sell some mineral feed. Can't we tell the mineral feed to distribute? I'm being silly, aren't I? I could tell it to go to the production silo. We only need to sort of distribute, and then if we switch the production silo on for that, then really we should be pretty much... Have we got that on this? Mineral feed we have. So we want to activate it, obviously, but we also want to store. If I can find it. Mineral, M for mineral. Oh, it's not. It doesn't actually work like that, does it? Actually, you can see it's all over the place. Mineral feed. So we want to store, and we also want to switch it on, and then it should really, if we go through to 9 o'clock, actually take that out of there, and then really we could sort of go on a little bit. Not this session. I'm going to do one more session. It's just going to be too monstrous otherwise. Right. So we should really see that the mineral feed is, or when it has 250,000 litres have gone straight away. So we've got 250,000 litres left to do of that, which should seriously knock those oats on the head a lot. It should really, because it is a very powerful one, this one. So that should seriously dent that enormously. And the potatoes, likewise, we need to shift. Do we do that? No, it's going to be a monster. It is. So we're going to do that. I think one more session should really see us finish this, and we can sort of do a little bit of a preliminary sweep on, obviously, the costs. We're not going to... Yeah, that's only 15,000. That was a bargain. 1567, so nearly 100. I mean, yeah, that was amazing, wasn't it? 77. Yeah, the field prices on this are really good. Really good. 152, so about 450,000-ish, I think, for all of our fields equivalent. So it's not a lot, because obviously we cut some out. This was very, very good value. 57, there's like an awful lot of space. Obviously we did make, yeah, and then obviously 8 as well. So again, I wanted the farm to be fairly close together. So again, cash on that. Obviously our chickens are not worth a lot. So really our livestock is not a lot. Our equipment we don't ever do, but obviously it is worth a lot, and it really is. So again, this is going to do not so well on some ways, because the infrastructure is not as... Obviously if you were to like think about the infrastructure of your equipment and that, but again, the game says they're worthless once they've been down for about a year, pretty much, I think. Some of them do. Yeah, it's 19,000. That's only just been put down, though. Oh, so, yeah, that's 19, 20, 21. Some of these obviously have been redone. Yeah, well, even that's got some value. That's not bad, actually. Right, so I'm going to leave it at that. We're up to 4 million in the euros. We've still got quite a bit, but not a lot. So I think, in a way, due to the nature of Risoux Forest, we may at the most... Well, let's have a look now, because it is going to tell us roughly what on hand, what we've got. Almost 1 million, which is actually 1.5 million. So this is going to equal Calmsden as it stands right now. Yeah, I mean, because obviously the biggest thing on that is mineral feed. Now, does that actually... Yeah, it does. It sees all of the 500,000 litres. Obviously, this is going to go up overnight. And bread, we've also got 59,000. I mean, actually, really, that's the real figure that we should go on, which would be almost 1 mil, which was 1.5 million. But there's not a lot in it, really. So, yeah. So, really, we should equal, if not do slightly better than Calmsden. And it's a different kind of farm. It's not the same. I can't really compare Calmsden's or Oakbridge. It's got some huge fields that we've got, really, in the end. We had the beautiful free field, which was fairly big, and then we got the 2 fields, the grass field. We did well off that. We were doing well off our cows. The animals never did come other than the chickens, which we did for the broth, the noodle soup. So yeah, it's one of those sort of things. Again, there were limitations on this Let's Play that were, because of the nature of the map, that you couldn't quite pull in the same, or some of it was down to bad luck as well. I know when I was looking for animals, we were still forking out a lot for big tractors, because this map is heavy. So again, due to the nature of the map, we needed to get bigger, more expensive tractors, and that's what I'm saying. We've got a lot of tractors, and they're all 450 horsepower, 400 horsepower plus, really, because we found that anything less than that was a little bit weak for the map, so we had to take special considerations in for our equipment. So our equipment's really good and really powerful. So again, it's maybe not worth a lot, but really in real life terms it's good equipment. Anyway, yeah, all that remains to be said is thank you very much for watching. Truly do hope you're going to join me on this, what will be the last session of Risoux Forest, where we do the final bits of, I mean, yeah, obviously the bread as well. This doesn't show up, as we know, outside, so we will sell this, even if obviously it's still going to be worth more than it would appear to be. Does it show that? The bread, I'm not sure it doesn't anymore. It never used to. It does. We've just said 40,000 litres, and it's that bread, so it does now show if you've got it around. It never used to. You never used to see how much things were lying around. Well, it is actually working now, so that's been taken into consideration. That's looking in the game to see what you've got rather than in your productions and your silos. So that's fantastic. We could really, once we've got rid of all of our loose products, all of the oats and all of our potatoes, once we've got those all gone, then really we've reached the end of the road at that point. So yeah, so anyway, I'm going around in circles. Yes, all that needs to be said is goodbye for now.